Hi, I'm Daniel from Image Salon, and this is Editing Deconstructed. Every week, we take a different image and show you some behind the scenes in Lightroom and Photoshop to get the best out of your editing. In this week's edit, we're going to be looking at a photo from photographer Josh Olson. He sent us this photo for Editing Deconstructed. As always, the first thing we're going to do is adjust our temperature, tint, and exposure. And as I do this, I am strongly debating if this image should stay in color or go to black and white. The general mindset is if the colors aren't really adding anything to the image, then chances are that it's probably going to be better in black and white, and we can just focus on the moment. So after adjusting our basic settings, we pull the saturation down to -100. And now we have a black and white image. And then we go ahead and make some other adjustments. So we're going to start with a darker layer for the trees and the environment. We can push our clarity, push our dehaze, push our contrast as well. Push a lot of our settings in black and white. It's a lot more forgiving. Go in our curve, give it a little bit of an S curve. Adjust our sharpening to 80, noise reduction to 20. And make sure our lens profile correction is turned on, which will remove some of the vignetting, but we'll add it back in with the post-crop vignetting, just so it's a little bit more natural and we're not getting that distortion from the actual lens vignetting. Next, we're going to play around with the crop a little bit. Things feel just a little bit off center. I want to make sure the couple is perfectly centered there. And then make final adjustments to our exposure. Just keep going a little darker, pull our highlights down, and we're good to go. So we open our first layer and then send the object back into Camera Raw, and we'll start working on our second one. So start going a little bit brighter for our couple in the middle there. And we realize the groom is in less good light than the bride, so we're definitely going to need a third layer just for his head. So apply a layer mask on the brighter layer, and then with a big brush, low opacity or flow, really start brushing in the surroundings. Again, it's very important that we don't brush just the couple, that we stay on the entire area generally, so that things blend in as much as possible and it doesn't look like a spotlight on the couple. So give it a few more clicks. And then go ahead and duplicate the layer once again, send it back into Camera Raw, and increase our exposure one more time, this time looking at the groom's head, ignoring everything else. And this really demonstrates why we need those layers. If we go with a really bright exposure for the groom's face from the get-go, then we get a really bright exposure overall, and obviously that's not what we want. We lose the mood of the scene and of the environment. So here with a slightly smaller brush, we add exposure on the groom's face. And again, make sure that we don't forget the surrounding areas so that the groom doesn't look like he has a spotlight just on his face. We want this to blend in as naturally as possible. If you see me zoom out in Photoshop, it's just to get a better sense of the picture overall. I'm on a 5K screen, so it's quite big in my face, and then I like to zoom out just to get a better sense of the entire image as I see it. So now everything is balanced out. We just blend the layer, give it a little bit more on the whites, give it a little bit of an S curve to increase the contrast. You can see what it does there. And we're good to go. Thank you so much for sending that photo, Josh. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Editing Deconstructed.
Right.